Welcome to the August edition of the Art and Soul Show. While you are listening to this, your ears can't look elsewhere. Coming up, more of Brian Barber's adventures in faraway lands, and Michael Scott will be giving us the lowdown on creative writing. But before we get there, let's listen to the Jeff Beck Group's Bolero.
That was the Jeff Beck Group with Bolero.
Next up is a track by Terra 45 called Ice Empress.
Welcome to my dungeon, my little empress.
Your tears are frozen, you look so cold. Drawn to the demon who made you old. You hold its hand under its head. Its seeds of evil have all been sown. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Your emotions in denial and your love has been sold. You took sanctuary in the demon's eye. You cried for its guidance. You screamed so loud, take me to your church. and you hope to find the truth in your sad, solemn stare. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold, your emotions in denial, and your love has been sold. Ice Empress, you are the Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. You are the Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Your emotions in denial, and your love has been sold. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Your emotions in denial, and your love has been sold. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Ice Empress, your eyes so cold. Your emotions in denial, and your love has been sold.
That was Ice Empress by Terra 45.
Coming up now, we have a track called For Life by James Osborne with Mike from SWADS. That was James Osborne and Mike from SWADS with their track called For Life.
We're joined by Michael Scott, who is a creative writer, and I believe you've come in today to talk to us a bit about creative writing. So I wondered if you could tell us, what is creative writing?
Well, that's a hard question to start with. It's very difficult to pin down creative writing. The work I do with SWADS is as much about creative thinking, really. It's about getting people to think about things in a slightly different way by using art, using things people read, and responding to them, really, in a way that reflects what's going on in their life. Creative writing, can be a very good thing for expressing yourself.
Expressing yourself in what way? Is that just purely written word, or is it in speech or painting, or what?
Whatever, really. I was thinking on the way here, I had a guy at one of my other groups who couldn't read or write, and he said, I'm not coming along to your group because I can't read and write. And I said, well, come along and tell us a story then. So it's about words, really. So the creative writing element is never academic. It's always about trying to get people to get something out of expressing themselves in whatever way suits them, really.
I mean, I wouldn't know where to start when it came to writing something. And I mean, if I came to you and asked you, help me, I'm stuck, where do I start? Where can I begin? What would your advice be?
Well, what I normally start with any group is talk to people about what their favourite things are. So not necessarily books or reading or that sort of thing, but what your favourite film is, what your favourite TV programme is, what your favourite place is, that sort of thing, to try and get some ideas going in the person's head about things they actually like, and then try and apply those to a creative session, really. So starting out from a point where people are comfortable, and then moving on from that and making people uncomfortable a bit later on.
Right, well, give us an example of your work, because I too, like Daniel, find it very difficult to come up with concepts, and let's hear one that you've already done.
Yeah, I mean, my work, which I've just been looking through to find something that would be good to read here, is a lot about how I try and understand life through writing, really, and it's helped me an awful lot. So I've got two poems here. 17 years ago, I was in rehab, and I was quite scared by the other people I was in rehab with to start off with, because it was quite a rough place, and I'm quite nice, really, but I wasn't at the time. I met some amazing people, and I saw some of them sort of after I left as well, and it was just, one thing that was astonishing to me was how pretty much everybody was a good person, and a lot of it was just a veneer to get through the experience. So once I got to know people, things were very different in the relationships there. I mean, the most benefit I've found from creative writing myself is understanding things a bit better by putting them down on paper. I spend a lot of my life confused, and I think I'm not alone in that, but life is very difficult to understand at times, and I think actually expressing your feelings about it outside yourself on paper or by speaking it can make a big difference. And I suppose 4 or 5 years ago, my dad was really ill and he was in hospital in Oxford. I went there really late at night to visit him, and they took me into the ward, and his bed was the only one lit up, and I didn't recognise him, and I was like really taken aback by that. So I wrote about it over the course of about a month and realised what he looked like. And I'm a big fan of art, and he looked like a Francis Bacon painting. So this poem's called My Dad Painted by Francis Bacon. Oxford Heart Centre Critical Care Unit. Someone off stage drags him by the hair, his face smudged upwards, chin tilted, fishhook lip, gum shield and tubes smeared left to right. Behind, digital blinks monitor oncoming strokes. I stare, eyes shut. Open to a ballpoint click. The curator is at my side, dressed as a nurse, fob watch and all. You can touch him if you want to. I do. The paint is still wet. We wait all night for 3 studies of the human head dry back into my dad. How that came about was basically from the nurse saying you can touch him if you want to, because I thought it was the weirdest thing imaginable to say to someone in that situation. It started from that and then moved on over a little period of time, really, and it did help me understand it, and I did recognise him again afterwards.
What you're talking about there is being presented with a situation where the nurse thought that you would find it difficult or even repulsive to touch somebody who was in that state. How do you feel about their views on it?
I just found it odd, and I think odd is a good starting point for inspiration. If you're confused or you find something peculiar or you find something odd, you're pretty much guaranteed to get something interesting out of it, rather than starting out with an agenda. Confusion's great.
I think that's great advice. And I mean, one of the things I wanted to ask as a pre-substance user myself, I just, in terms of getting back to writing, what would you suggest to people who feel like they can only be creative with using substances when they're now abstinent?
Well, I kept some of my writing. I used to produce when I was drinking an awful lot, and it's not very good, to be honest. And I think you'll be the most creative individual on the planet, and you're following the road of some of the great writers. But a lot of the stuff about great writers using drink to fuel their writing is actually nonsense. It was done to sort of build up an image and sell an image of the writer themselves. And no, your output's not going to be better. You're not going to be more creative drinking, because it skews all your thinking. And I'd rather write about real stuff and get to what I really think than write through a complete fog of alcohol and look back on it and see I've written a load of nonsense. Writing nonsense is okay, but if it's a substance causing it, not really very good.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Michael. Let's hope that your course that you're running is successful, and I will catch up with you again in the near future. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Coming up now, a cover of Helium by Sire, performed by Eve Golding. Enjoy.
I'm trying, but I keep falling down. I cry out, but nothing comes now. I give my all, and I know peace will come. I never wanted to need someone. Yeah, I wanted to play tough, thought I could do all just on my own. But even Superwoman sometimes needed Superman, so help me out of this hell. Your love lifts me up like helium. Your love lifts me up when I'm down, down, down. When I hit the ground, you're all I need. If I let go, I float towards the sun. I'm stronger 'cause you lift me up. When fear comes, I drift towards the ground. I'm lucky that you're around. Yeah, I wanted to play tough, thought I could do all just on my own. But even Superwoman sometimes needed Superman, so help me out of this hell. Your love
That was Helium by Sia, covered by Eve Golding, and now Brian Barber's Adventure in Faraway Lands.
We're here today with Brian Barber for some more exciting adventures. Brian, could you tell us about the times you got blown up? I hear it was 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times I managed to be in the wrong place. The first time was in New Guinea. That was a chemical explosion. It was a mixture of cordite, because we were getting cordite out of the unused shells from the Second World War and making fireworks. So I ended up with 3rd-degree burns and 2nd-degree burns on my hands. So it was a very, very unpleasant experience.
Yikes. So what was the medical care like?
Yes, so being in a developing country, medical care was not particularly good. So I went to the local hospital and they didn't know what to do. And I said, well, obviously my hands have got chemicals on. You need to use spirit-based gentian violet, not water. And so they came and brought the gentian violet and slapped it on, and my hands burst into flames. Because it was water-based gentian violet, which, that's not what I told them to use. The 3rd-degree burns on my leg were more difficult because they didn't have any bandages. So I then had to drive down to the mission hospital where she patched me up with bandages, but she said I had to go back every day for 7 days to have a penicillin shot.
So that brings me on to something you mentioned to me, which was about the penicillin parade.
Oh, yeah, the penicillin parade. I was part of that. You see, what happened in the hospital, the men were a bit sort of randy and ended up getting VD. And so they used to have to go to the hospital to join this line to get their penicillin shots to help clear their disease. So I had to join that line.
So it looked like you were in the same line for everything else.
I was in the same line. I had to wait. And when I sat down to have my shot, she sort of picked up this syringe and jabbed it, like a dart into my leg.
Lovely.
And then she unscrewed it and screwed another one on and pushed that in as well. So I had 2 shots using 1 needle. So
it's not quite UK.
Yeah, well, it was about 4 months later that I went back to the UK, and I was still having problems with the burn on my leg, so that was still being treated. But I'm fine these days.
So is that completely healed?
Oh yes, that's healed up completely, just a scar, So
the
great thing was it was 3rd degree, so it burnt the nerves out, so I didn't really feel any pain.
And ultimately they helped you.
Yes.
It might not have been ideal, but...
No. I did really not appreciate being burnt with my hands again.
I can imagine.
The second one was Newcastle. Newcastle Tyne and Wear Metro was being built, and I designed a system for them. And I'd gone up, and we were looking down into this hole, trying to find out where the equipment had gone. It had disappeared.
Okay.
And so I started hauling it out, and there was a spark, and it exploded. And this big ball of flame flew up this tube straight into my face.
Yikes.
So I got burnt skin and burnt cornea in the eyes, but I couldn't see. It was weird. It's like crazy paving. Suddenly I was standing there looking, and all my eyes crazed over, and I couldn't see. And I couldn't walk anywhere because I was on top of this gantry with holes all round. So I had to wait for someone to come and get me. And they took me to the Walkergate Eye Hospital. And do you know what I had for my first meal?
Go on, enlighten us.
Spaghetti bolognese. Now, how do you eat spaghetti bolognese when you're blind?
That is
with
a
your
good
fingers.
point.
Yeah, that's it, with your fingers, sort of. So that was difficult because I couldn't see, and I had... The worst part of it was being in the surgery, the operating theatre, when they're trying to pull the lumps of concrete out of my eyes, watching the skin stretch as they pulled it away and go twang as it shot back. That hurt. And then after that it was a month of blindness and not being able to cope with any light. And so even driving back down, my wife came to fetch me, and I had to have the car all sealed off round me because I couldn't stand any form of light.
So you had to be in complete blackout
complete darkness,
to feel...
Yeah, blanket over my head, just like you see on the TV of someone, criminals being taken to court.
So what happened after the explosion? Because it's amazing that you look perfectly okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I've just got a few residual lumps in my eyes which have not come out. But no problem. My eyes are perfectly normal. It took me a month to recover, and after that, first job I did after that was go and do a leaking gas main training session at Guernsey, the islands. That was great.
It sort of sounds like the perfect move
Well,
after an explosion.
I was not over impressed with the idea of getting in a hole with a big gas main. But talking of gas mains, that was my third one in East Anglia. I'd arrived to teach these guys how to repair leaking gas mains, and it was covered in Vaseline and cotton cloth just as a temporary measure. So I said, well, you've got to get rid of all of that grease. Don't use acetone because it's too dangerous. Use spirit or something like that, white spirit. And then I went out for breakfast, came back, and the pipe was beautiful, nice and clean. So I climbed down in the hole. They gave me my catalytic heater, clamped it round the pipe and thought, I smell acetone. Boom, it went. I flew out of the hole and landed a few feet away. And I said, you used acetone when I told you not to. And they said, well, it was quicker.
That's unbelievable.
So that was my third explosion, and I've not had any explosions as such. I've had near misses with mortar shells and stuff like that, but not sort of explosions where I've been physically involved with them. It's something I tend to avoid these days. I'm getting too old.
I mean, most people after one explosion, they'd probably be terrified to work with something remotely flammable or explosive, but yet you've carried on regardless.
No. I've done too many silly things in some respects, but I really ought to have more common sense and a little bit more control over what I'm doing, because I really am stupid sometimes.
I think we all get there at times, and I think, something like an explosion, it doesn't take much.
No, and talking, we're talking about explosions today. Next time we'll talk about grenades.
Fantastic.
2 grenades what I bought in the middle of a war.
Hopefully that's slightly less explosive, but I have a feeling it won't be.
So talk to you about that sometime.
Fantastic, thank you. And we've been with Brian Barber with his exciting adventures. Thank you.
And now, James Osborne with a track called One for the Trees.
That was One for the Trees by James Osborne, and now a poem called Stones and Sticks by the artist Rusty Goat, formerly known as Scott Cowley.
Stones and sticks. Stones and sticks have the ability to inflict cuts, bruises, disability. Words will never hurt we. Who was the person who first said that? Where was their head at? Been fighting since before I could run, ripped to shreds, heart weeping, eyes bleeding, crucified mentally, literally, year after year, decades for. A journey now just begun. I ain't stepped up unable to continue. No laying down, plain deaf, plain dumb. Believe this is heartfelt, time on my hands, hatching plans. Sat on cliff edge, don't bother me, pull back from a place of rolling dice with fate. 136, a place of safety. Don't think it smothered me, don't think it covered me. Blinding white light, a wet fish round face moment. Fresh diagnosis, hammer hit nail square. BPD, PTSD, traits of bipolar, the only letters that will follow my name. But I'll not sit silently boxed. Realistically, not expecting to be part of folklore history, it'll be more like a hit or mystery. And all I did was pull out the choke and turn ignition with key. Words born of me from a cradle, willing to bring what I've got to the table. Education was not my vocation. That horse had bolted long before I got sight of it. Jumped 5-bar gate, tapped out steel-shoed beat across cattle grate. Like Ginger and Fred on Broadway boards. Ginger hair receded beyond existence, life disappearing into the distance. But it's never too late. Make the last third count. No dressed up rehearsal. I kicked over the sign saying diversion. Take heed, be tout from me. You'll not see physicality. I'll throw no punches visibly. Tongue my bow, words my arrows. Verbally lifting, piercing inspiration. Grounded, not unrealistic, but be told these words come from soul deep. And I'll admit I'm no saint, and I'll admit I'm no white sheep, but I've never harvested what ain't worthy to keep. I'm a father, foremostly. I'm a friend, stoically. I'm a brother, the younger. I'm a son of my mother. I'm a son of Freddie. Believe when I say, never again I'll mention he. Not over verbosely able, I'll admit, but strip it back to the bone, boil it right down. Natural born ability, questionably. It's wordsmithery and the wizardry of delivery.
That was Stones and Sticks by Rusty Goat. And now, Richie P, the dopest vibe.
of the month.
Bing sings but Walt Disney.
And now, one of our favourite artists. This is Dash Schwenk, Hypnotised.
We are watching you as you create. Times of the essence, make up some space. The lights are down low as the fire is rising. Girl, the way you move me is hypnotizing. Planets all aligned now, go see what you can find out. Planets all aligned now, go see what you can find. Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? Can you see what I see through these lenses untainted? A picture of beauty, unreal, everlasting. Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? We are watching you as you create. Times are the essence, make up some space. Lights are down low as the fire is rising. Girl, the way you move me is hypnotizing. Planets all aligned now, go see what you can find out. Planets all aligned now, go see what you can find. Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up any longer? Can you see what I see through the lenses untainted? A picture of beauty, unreal yet everlasting. Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up? What you waiting for? Why wait up? Why wait up? Why wait up? What you waiting for? 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 Yeah!
Rusty Goat's back again. This one's called A Tale or Two, and it tells a story about poets. Every poet has a story to be told. Every poet has a story of the soul. Behind every pen stroke, behind every observant eye, is a puff of genius smoke. A long night spent writing, creative expression, delivering experience, a lesson. Every late night writing session, bleary-eyed, dog-tired and determined. The hours spent on elbows lent, the tea drunk or the bourbon sunk. Screwed up paper pile, the electronic file, save for later. On elbows lent, the hours spent, not easily pleased, rarely satisfied, but ironically content. It's not all flowers and windswept moors, thatched cottages, pink rose-festooned porch. It's not daffodils, dry stone walls, Shakespearean tales from a bygone age. It's more earthy than that. It kind of picks up the track laid by Ferlinghetti, Corso and Kerouac. Somewhat obviously that I pointed those out. Any fool can list stuff from Google, but a reader I'm not. I've just heard odds and sods. Soaking up influence from the best wordsmiths to grace this earth. I'll not list them. We've all got our favourites, and they're all different flavours. But every poet has a story. Every poet has a tale. So how about this? Let's share a few. After all, it's what we do.
Here at the Sound Recovery Studio at SWADS, since last March, we have been creating a band called the Mature Mondays, where everybody in the band is over 55 years of age. The drummer, Brian Lovell, the bass player, Pete Greenhouse, the singer, Martin King, Jeff Naylor guitar, Mick Rocks guitar, Pat Rainbow harmonica, and Mike Beckley guitar and production, have been getting together and recording songs over the last 3 or 4 months. You can catch the Mature Mondays on the SWADS YouTube channel, and here is a track that they recorded about a month ago here at the Sound Recovery Studio. It's These Boots Are Made for Walking, the Nancy Sinatra cover from the 60s by the Mature Mondays. Enjoy.
You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been messing where you should have been messing, and now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Yeah. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing, and you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be changing. Now what's right is right, but you ain't being right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep playing when you shouldn't have been playing. You keep thinking that you'll never get burned. I've just found me a brand new box of matches, yeah. And watch knows you ain't had time to learn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, boots? Stop walking.
That was the Mature Mondays covering These Boots Are Made for Walking. And now staying with the Mature Mondays, this is their bass player, Pete Greenhouse, and his instrumental version of Lady Madonna, a cover of the Beatles classic. Enjoy! Now, the famous SWADS end of session jam, where we end the radio show with an impromptu jam. Everybody join in now.
Have been listening to the Art and Soul Show at SWADS on the Air. We will be back again, same time, same place, next month. The music you're listening to is the end of session jam. Tweet us at SWADS_Swindon with your favourite jam for a shout out on the next month's show.
Laurel Penfold, string quartet on MIDI keys. Dan Walton, acoustic guitar. Andrew Naylor, congo drums. James Osborne, ukulele. Richard Price, percussion. Mike Beckley, glockenspiel. Scott Cowley, harmonium. And the incredible, one and only, on woodblocks, the magic Chris Haynes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you.